What's the deal? What's the deal, man? PolitiKan The Podcast. We back again. Back in this bitch, man. First topic we got to get to is my Clippers, man. So they officially put Lou Will and Pat Beverley on the trading block, man. Do you think that the Clippers are good enough as is to win it all? Because I do, and I feel like we need to keep Pat Beverley for sure. And Lou Will, man, is still a very solid player. I know he's disgruntled that his homeboy Montrezl Harrell is out of there. So he probably wants to go, but, man, I think we need to really stay in Pat. So let me bring in my boy Yajaketit. We finna get it in, man. So what you feel? How you feel about the Clippers putting Lou Will and Patrick Beverley on the trading block?
I can see Lou Will, like how you said, if he's disgruntled and he's upset. I think y'all need to keep Pat Bev. I think he's a dog. And you guys need a dog on there. No, he's not going to give you drop 20, 30 points for you, but he going to lock somebody down and he's going to be a pest. And you need somebody like that. I think what the Clippers need, I don't think they need to get rid of anybody. I think they just needed to add to their arsenal. They needed to add somebody like, my boy just went to the Knicks, so they should have added somebody like Derrick Rose. The Knicks got rid of freaking Dennis Smith or whatever his name was. They got rid of pretty much for a player that averages 18 points a game. You just need somebody else to go in there and help them out because Pat Bev is not a scorer. Lou Will is, but Lou Will isn't a playmaker. So all you need is somebody to come in and be a playmaker for the team, and then you guys are good. Somebody that can give you about 15 points because everybody knows about playoff P. PG, whatever he want to call it. Like, if he don't show up, you need somebody else to come in and facilitate. So other than that, I think you guys are good. I think you guys are good where you guys at. You just need a bench.
I think that this need of a facilitator is overhyped, man. With a moving offense and a scheme that isolates your star players, puts Kawhi down on the block, put PG, high post where they operate, then we don't need a technical facilitator. The Milwaukee Bucks facilitate with their center, basically. You know what I'm saying? The Denver Nuggets, Jokic is dropping 15 assists a game over there. The game has changed. We don't need a traditional point guard. And for us to screw up the chemistry right now, I think we'll be dumb. We're right now tied for first in the West, with the Lakers. I don't think that coming and putting them up and shaking up the team for maybe if you ain't going to get a Bradley Beal or somebody like a third superstar, then I don't see why they would break this team up, man. Everybody needs to settle into their roles. Everybody needs to dig deep and figure this shit out. And when they get to playoffs, niggas gonna have to really play. Like, all this Paul George shit, man, is cool. We didn't see you damn near third in the MVP race in Oklahoma. So we seen this already. So you're not doing nothing that we didn't know you could do. Let's get to the playoffs and let's see you make a difference. Because ever since I don't know how he got the playoff P name, but you know what I'm saying? Just the way that we went down in the bubble, I think that Kawhi and PG got a whole new fire lit under them. You know what I'm saying? And that, it's like laser-like focus. Especially with Kawhi.
I think the Clippers are good how they are. I think they don't like how you said, they don't necessarily need another facilitator. You don't need you don't need a Rondo. Rondo won't do anything for you guys' team. You guys need somebody that can come in and give you guys some more points. I'm talking about that can give Kawhi and PG, let's say, 2 extra minutes on the bench because you got somebody else coming in dropping 15, 18 points off the bench, so they can rest a little longer. So then when they come back in, they can close the game. And other than that, if y'all ain't getting something like that, then just leave it as it is. Let people be disgruntled. You mad because you're at the end of the day, Lou Williams, boy, your boy left you. He decided to leave. And he went to your competition. So I don't know how he your boy like that. If he left you for the team that is going, it's not like he went to the East. He went to the West. And he went to your big brother. So that's disrespect right there. I'll be trying to
So do you
Lakers should have a target on their back because of that.
So do you think that the Clippers are good enough to beat the Lakers this year? Currently constructed, or do we need to do something to be able to beat the Lakers?
I thought my opinion, I thought that you guys needed a player like Derrick Rose. I thought Derrick Rose was going to go to the Clippers. I was hoping that he went to the Clippers. I just think that you guys need a third option. I don't think you guys really have a third option. Lou Will is cool, but I don't consider him you guys' third option. I just think you guys need a third option where somebody, I don't care who it is, that can give you 15 points. If you get somebody that can drop, because I think you guys, you guys got to go against Anthony Davis. But I think if Paul George shows up, I'm not talking Oklahoma Paul George. I'm talking about if Paul George shows up like Pacers Paul George and Kawhi just continue to be Kawhi, I think y'all can beat the Lakers. But I think Paul George, Pacer, got to show up. Not no Oklahoma City Paul George. He got to be that Pacer, that killer, where everybody's like, oh, shoot, who the heck is Paul George?
I don't know. I think that Nicholas Batum and the Serge Ibaka give us a 5-out, with some valuable big men that's going to give us some solid minutes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And having that 3-point stretch at the 3 and the 5, at the 4 and the 5 gives us a different dynamic that we didn't have last year. You know what I'm saying?
And I think
hold on, with the Lakers getting smaller, by getting rid of Dwight Howard, by getting rid of McGee, and they get old-ass Marc Gasol, you know what I'm saying, which is more like a facilitating jump shot big man. He's not a defensive threat or presence, and he's really not at this point age in his career. So I don't feel like we need to be that big. Anthony Davis, in the playoffs, he's going to play the 5. When he play the 5, he want to play like a point guard like Giannis does. He doesn't want to be down there on the block. So I think that by getting rid of a big man, the Lakers play it right into our hand. You know what I'm saying? And it's ours for the taking.
I think you guys a sleeper that people don't know about that I was like, whoa, you guys got him, is because I was looking at him last year when he was on Detroit, is the that Luke Kennard.
Oh, Luke Kennard? Yeah, he got the wet ball.
Yeah, if he shows up in the playoffs, then there goes that 15-piece nugget that I'm talking about, where they pass in the ball. If he can hit those threes like what I was seeing when he was with Detroit, you got a different ball game.
So let's get to the NFL, man. We all knew this day was coming, man, but Carson Wentz, he is officially on the trading block. Where do you think is the best landing spot for Carson Wentz right now? It's a lot of teams that need a quarterback. It's a lot of shuffling that's going to go around in this offseason. Where do you think that the best landing spot for Carson Wentz is?
I would go out on, I haven't really watched him or anything. I would go out on the limb and say that first and foremost, he should have been gone. That's what I think. I think because he was, if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I get them confused. But he was injured when the backup quarterback led him to a championship, right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. After that, I would have been got rid of the dude. The backup quarterback that they had, I think Philly was stupid for getting rid of him and keeping Wentz. Because I think the next year after that, he got injured again. You know, he hasn't. The backup quarterback was better in their system than what Wentz was. So that's their fault for doing that. If anything, I mean, I would say once you try to trade him for Prescott, you know what I'm saying? I've been hearing reports and stuff that, you know, Dallas, you know, him and Dallas ain't seeing eye to eye or whatever the case may be. Once you trade him do something like that, you know, it will make Philly better. You know, I don't know about the Cowboys, but my whole thing is he should have been gone. It don't matter where he goes, get him out.
I think that his perfect fit will be with Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. Mm-hmm. I think over there with Josh McDaniels, he would be able to fall in and just be instead of being the guy somewhere, he would just be a cog, you know what I'm saying, in the Bill Belichick system. That was the problem with Cam Newton. He's too big of an entity to fit into your system. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like Tom Brady, he grew up in your system. He blew up in your system. Mm-hmm. And he outgrew, you know, the limelight of just being another guy in the locker room. So I don't think that any other team would make sense. They're talking about the Bears, maybe the Washington football team. They even threw out the 49ers, talking about getting rid of Jimmy Garoppolo because he lost us that Super Bowl and then he been injured and he just keep chopping all the porn star Jimmy. You know what I'm saying? So he got that big contract, man, and start going crazy, man, but he didn't even earn it. He backed up Tom Brady. Tom Brady got injured, he played 6 games and got this big ass contract. You know, he lost us that Super Bowl. Like we was up against the Chiefs, man, and we put it in Garoppolo's hands and he sucked, man. So I wouldn't want Wentz.
After that, wow.
Going from Garoppolo to Wentz wouldn't make no sense for the 49ers. Nah. So I think that New England would be the only destination that makes sense. But is New England going to give up a king's ransom that they're asking for Carson Wentz? Probably not. I don't even think they got the assets or to even get in the hunt. But that's where I would like him to be because they need a quarterback, and Wentz need to go somewhere where he could resurrect himself. So I wonder what's going to happen with that. So speaking of that Super Bowl, man. So how you feel about the Super Bowl? Tom Brady winning it all, man.
I'll be honest. I didn't even watch it.
You didn't?
I did not watch the Super Bowl at all. I didn't.
Why was that?
I decided to work on my edits. I went in. I was like, man, let me. The Super Bowl ain't putting no money in my pocket, so I didn't even watch it. Now I looked at. I Googled it a little bit to see the score and everything like that, and kind of sort of once I seen it was like what 7-3 or something like that. I was like, Brady's about to win this, you know. And I seen the highlights and stuff. Brady did his thing for, you know, being 42 something years old or whatever. What I was hearing of the Super Bowl, I heard there was some questionable calls in the beginning, and then the Chiefs receivers, they didn't have no hands. So
they was running some bullshit, honestly. Like Andy Reid is a trick play trickster, and then you know Pat Mahomes just makes magic out of shit. They took Tyreek Hill out of the game, you know, play him with 2 high safeties, the whole time, and they you know what I'm saying, made you run the ball, and that's exactly what the Kansas City Chiefs didn't do. And then after they got in a deficit, they never put the ball back on the ground, and it was a pretty boring game from there. Namda Suh was in there just looking like the old Detroit Lions. Sue, he was in there thrashing, man. It was like in the middle of the third quarter, you knew the game was over.
Yeah.
You
I
know
seen
what
the
I'm saying?
halftime, like my phone went off and I seen the halftime. I was like, oh, this is over. Because you ain't if I think it would have been a different ball game if the Chiefs would have scored, then it would have had a little more momentum, but you weren't I think it was kind of destined, it's in Tampa, you know what I'm saying? It's Brady, and I think it was just kind of destined to be how it was. Plus the Chiefs offensive line, everybody was banged up. And for me, I think too that even though he played, Mahomes wasn't like the game before, he was on like concussion protocol or something like that. So I think that could have had a factor or whatever. But at the end of the day, you showed up to the Super Bowl and y'all got smacked.
For real. So did you hear about the little confrontation that Brady had with Tyrann Mathieu?
Yeah, so, I heard Brady was barking in his ear or something like that. And he was barking something, and I guess he was saying like, hey, it's something I can't repeat out loud.
Yeah, man, I don't know what he's like. I'm wondering like what the hell did Brady say? Because he chased him down. Brady was all in that nigga ear. Like, what could possibly Tom Brady have said to the Honey Badger to cause that whole little thing? And then they threw the penalty on Tyrann Mathieu. And then Tom Brady's the one that's apologizing after this whole thing. Like, I was out of line for that. My bad. Tyrann Mathieu just replied to him like, don't disrespect me like that. And he ran away from him. And Tom Brady chased him down, kept talking shit. And then Tyrann Mathieu got the penalty.
You had to say something.
I think that's just how society looks at stuff. Oh, if it's a white guy and a black guy arguing, the black guy automatically got to be wrong.
It's like what I heard about Tom Brady now since he won 7, and technically he has one more than Jordan. Tom Brady is considered the greatest athlete of all times. And for me, I always went and thought, like, of course you would give Tom Brady the greatest athlete of all times because you want to be on the top of the pinnacle. You want a white person to be the greatest of everything.
Okay, so, now that you say that, when Barry Bonds and them was beating all the records, that's when they want to go catch the whole baseball on the GHC or GHG, whatever it was, man. Mm-hmm. But before that, when Babe Ruth was probably on the damn steroids. But when Babe Ruth record stood, you had no problem with it. But then as soon as niggas start to be the home run hitter and the Great White Hope isn't there no more, all of a sudden you want to go test everybody and try to do everything to be like, okay, well, he got the record, but he was caught on the stuff.
But nobody will ever say you want to put Brady as the greatest of all times, of all sports. You want to put him as the greatest of all times, but he deflated balls. Nobody ever mentions that.
Then destroyed his phone and fired the guy that did it, and then ignored a subpoena and took a 6-game suspension, and he came and won the Super Bowl.
But he's the greatest of all time. I think it was what's his name, Max Kellerman. He broke it down and he said that because they were trying to even put this was the greatest Super Bowl performance of all times. Like they're trying to put Brady in that, like greatest athlete, greatest Super Bowl of all times. It's Brady. And like I said, I was like, you're just doing that because you have a like, let's make him the chosen child because he's white. Because you ain't doing that with. I mean, Michael Jordan went 6 for 6. He never lost a. If he went to the championship, Michael Jordan hasn't lost. Brady went to championships and he lost. Brady even got smacked by the Giants. That comeback by Eli. You got smacked by him, but they're trying to say he's the greatest of all time in all sports. So I'm like, you only giving it to him because his skin is white. And so now that he has 7, you can just go, oh, he got one more than Jordan. 2 different sports, 2 different athletes, but Jordan stands as the greatest because he went 6 for 6.
Out of those 7 championships, I remember at least 3 of them where Adam Vinatieri kicked 7 field goals for them niggas to win. so plus you lost 2 to Eli Manning, and you lost 1 to Philadelphia with a backup quarterback.
Yeah, and you lost 1 to my Seahawks, and then you
like, and know,
well, man. the thing is, when he lost, then what was it with the Eli one, the one that he lost? He had Randy Moss. He had a team on him, and they went what 16-0 or something like that. They almost went undefeated the whole season until he got to the Super Bowl and he lost.
That's crazy. So the halftime show, man, they had The Weeknd. The pre-show, the pregame show, they had the pregame show. Oh, we got Mayor Alvin in here, man, tapping in. What's the deal, brother?
What's going on, man?
Chilling. We just talking about the Super Bowl theatrics, man. So one thing I wanted to touch on was all the black artists that was involved in this Super Bowl, man. We had her and Jasmine Sullivan on the national anthem. Then we had The Weeknd. Then they had all type of like concerts out there, involving all type of hip hop acts. So it's bringing a lot of revenue into the black community through these venues. But how do you feel about Jay-Z heading this? And is this a positive thing, or is he just cooning right now?
It seems a little bit more consistent than anything else because, he joked about how, he would never need anybody, they would need him, right? And then he, put in multiple raps about how he's turned down the Super Bowl years ago. And then Beyonce killed it a couple years back, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't know. I'm the hugest Jay-Z fan. I mean, I got a Rockefeller tattoo on my left leg because that was the thing when we were growing up, as far as me and my boys. And I'm just happy that he's doing something positive, that is still having him behind the scenes. But it was entertaining. I can't lie. Like, the national anthem was different. The American, or I don't know, what was it too? So it was a national anthem, and then it was I don't know what. I don't know.
I don't know them songs. I don't really even remember the national anthem. I haven't pledged allegiance in years.
Same here. So it was cool. You know what I mean? It was cool. Jasmine Sullivan was rocking with the guitar. The Weeknd, he killed, even though everybody was making fun of him for being like a knockoff Prince and dressed like Eddie Murphy. I'm like, he gave us like the first performance we've seen in over a year. And I think he did a good job. And then, it led up to the outcome of the Super Bowl, which, we kind of talked about last week, which we all kind of know how that turned out. But I don't see none of that money going back into the black communities, no disrespect. I really don't know where. I don't see where any of that money really goes back into the community. I mean, Jay-Z's ahead of Puma and all that good stuff, or not ahead, but he's with Puma. Puma's doing a lot of giving back, but there's always ways to make money, make more money. So until I see them publicizing what they're doing for the inner city youth with the money or with that exposure, I'll just say it's a better Super Bowl than we've had for the last couple of years.
I mean, like I said, I didn't watch nothing of the Super Bowl, but I would say, I mean, you had black acts. Okay, cool. I think too, it kind of reminds me of the commercials that we see now because of the Black Lives Matter movement and the social injustice and everything like that. You have now companies, I would say, try to show face, as in, hey, let's finally put black people in these commercials. Let's finally do X, Y, and Z and show that we are for the colored people. But 2-3 years ago, you weren't, Now with the Super Bowl, they have had Beyonce, Missy, they have had our people out there and everything like that. But it didn't do anything. It's still not going to do anything because I think the NFL kind of sort of wants us to think, wow, you see all these black people come together, but you still haven't put Kaepernick back in the NFL. You haven't even apologized for the damage you done to that man's career. But they want to take it off of that and put it on, look how many black people we let in on the Super Bowl. We care about you, black people. We care about you. But we don't really care about you because we won't publicly come out and tell you, hey, you know what? Hey, we freaked up with Kaepernick. We all he did was kneel. Okay, cool. Like, yeah, we messed up. So I think it's their kind of sort of way of trying to make up for it or make face that they're with the black community, but they're really not. And what was it? Simeon Rice, I think it was, and all these other dudes that got in trouble for domestic violence and everything, and they got kicked out of the NFL and haven't played a lick in the NFL. But you ain't hearing nothing about that white dude that beat down on that black girl. You ain't hearing nothing about that. That's not as publicized as the whole thing that happened in the elevator. So I don't know.
I feel it. I just think that, just like you said, the NFL has definitely been trying to show face, man. And bringing Jay-Z was a whole PR stunt. And PR is just PR, man. It's like an image. Jay-Z's in here to control the image that the people see so that they can change the way that people see the NFL. But does that change their belief system? Does that change them? Does that change the structure of the league? Does that change the operation of the league? It does none of that. It's just entertainment. It reminds me of the Coliseum. You know what I'm saying? When people used to get, unruly, the Kings used to, open up the Coliseum and show them some gladiators, show them a dude fighting a lion, and the people would forget that they mad at the king. And that's just the modern day version of it. That's the way I'm seeing it.
Look, I'll tell you how they spun it too. Just on not necessarily. They couldn't have premeditated this exit, or not this exit, but the Super Bowl. But okay, Tampa Bay being the location of the Super Bowl, from what I was told, wasn't just because of the pandemic, but it was actually their team's turn, right, to host the Super Bowl. So for them to make it to the Super Bowl and be the home team was the first time in NFL history that a home team was the actual host of the Super Bowl, right? You look at the whole Brady doing going through two of the other three, I guess, GOATs in the game, or best quarterbacks currently in the NFL, where Patrick Mahomes is the LeBron James currently moving forward. Like, everything was set up for them to win. But what I didn't know until after they won was that there was 5 black coaches on this coaching staff, as far as offensive coordinators, special team, defense, whatever, right? 5 males, including one, Brian Leftwich, which was one of the, like a solid black quarterback back in the day, used to play for Jacksonville Jaguars. And they also have 2 female assistant head coaches on staff as well. So some strange reason, none of this stuff was even talked about going into the Super Bowl, right? I mean, if that was talked about, say, going into the playoffs, right? We would have had a different look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We would have had a different look at what Tom Brady brought to the organization and how the entire organization changed its culture to be more of a winning type of team because of what he brought, and then how everybody worked together. But like, that's some bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, that was a huge step for us in the NFL, that we had we had a team that basically let the coach know, like, look, we know what we're doing. Just be the white face that everybody needs to see so that our plans can work. We know this old man's washed up. He's good at doing what we know he can do. Let us make this work for us to win. And if we win, just give us our shine. And you know what? The coach gave them their shine, right? But the coach gave it, not John Madden, or not John Madden, but not any of the Terry Bradshaws, or, you know what I'm saying? Nobody spoke of it. If the coach didn't say what he said, I wouldn't be telling you guys that I heard about it. And to me, that's one of the biggest crocs of bullshit outside of Colin Kaepernick not getting an opportunity other than that setup, what was it, a year or 2 years ago or whatever. They hold back the information that would make us want to support the NFL because they don't want us to support the NFL. The more of us buying jerseys, the more of us protesting, the more of us helping people stand and protest against police brutality and social injustice, the more they can't just get their quick dollar and move on. You know what I mean? Like,
it got to be America football.
It is. I mean, you see, the NBA got more voice behind their players than the NFL will ever allow.
I agree with everything you said, man. That's a crazy take. Like, I just seen the meme floating around, but I didn't pay it no mind. It was just like whatever. Here's the NFL doing the same thing over again. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Same bullshit. So it's all propaganda. It's just, we just gotta accept it, man. But I think the mindset of something is better than nothing is the reason why we always never get what we want. Fuck that. Give us what we want or nothing. You know what I'm saying? We gotta set some type of standard. You know what I'm saying? Stand for anything or fall for everything. So fuck that, man. Like, we keep taking, it's better than what we had. Like, nah, that mentality gotta die, man. Like, that shit gotta be over with, man, for real. So, how y'all heard about your president, Joe Biden? So he said that he's planning to open up majority of schools by his 100th day in office, which will be April 30th. So they're saying around 60% of schools should be open around the 100th day of his office, which is April 30th. Are you guys sending your children back to school? Do you think that is safe? They're talking about possibly 1 day a week in person, but they're talking about still having the teacher remote. So they're going to go to the classroom for 1 day, but then the teacher's still not going to be in the classroom. The teacher's still just going to be on the screen. Like, this is making no sense. Like, Biden did all these promises, but now he's getting in here and he's got to live up to what he said. And he said he was going to open the schools back up. So this is just all face once again to try to say, hey, look, I told you I was going to do it and I did it. Are you guys going to send your children back to school?
No.
If Biden says once a week, is that an option? What's your thoughts on this?
No. Okay, so, I mean, my oldest is in 7th grade. My middle's in 3rd grade. There's no way I'm sending them back to school. First and foremost, I get the concept of allowing them to get their social interaction. That's why they want the kids in the classroom and not the teachers. And I guess because for whatever reason they assume that kids really can't contract COVID, or if they do contract it, they don't get hit with the symptoms as hard. They just carry it. But there's no real reason to put myself or my family back in that crazy hectic day to day, or not even day to day, just a one day. That's that one day a week to have to wait in line to drop them off, to have, I don't know. I just don't think it's the right time. But I will be honest though. Out here in my community, we've already opened a lot of schools, but it's not all grade levels. It's like transitional kindergarten, first grade, and second grade, and then the special day kids, special day class for special day kids, and they put like say two, three, four of those classes together on one campus, and then all the other ones will get like maybe two teachers for all the kids who elect to come on campus. Even some of the high schools are open where kids are playing basketball in the gym for practice, but they're not talking about it because as soon as they start publicizing it, then they're going to get some type of audit and get shut down. But it's going to happen. I'm not sending mine back. I'm not forcing them to get vaccinated. They already believe that it's a waste of time themselves. And no, like Joe Biden, I appreciate the fact that he wants to speak up like every president has ever spoken up the first 100 days or 4 months of their presidency, but he can miss me with all that extra stuff. None of the sports are going to be available. So all the high school kids who want to go back are going to go back to do what? Try to hit on each other just so they can try to get some trim in between class? Like, it's not worth it.
I mean,
I was like, yeah,
right now,
Go ahead, yeah. My bad.
oh, I mean, right now, my kids can't even go to school, but I'm just with President Joe. I'm just kind of confused on what is the difference between January and February. Matter of fact, what is the difference between when you got into office and when the other guy was in office, when Trump was in office? Because when Trump was in office, all Joe Biden was telling us was everything need to be closed. Everything need to be closed. Everybody need to wear a mask. Everything need to be closed. Then you get into office and now you want everything open. You opened up California. You want to send everybody back to school now. But when the other guy was saying, hey, we need to open everything back up. Open everything back up. Your political stance was, oh, look it, he's trying to open everything back. We ain't ready to open up. So what is the difference now? And then I go, when it comes to school, I mean, of course you want to open it back up, kind of sort of piggybacking what Mayor Armstrong was saying is, of course you want to open everything back up because what do you have to do when you go back to school? You have to get certain shots. So how do you get more people to get the shot? Hey, you want your kid to go back to school? They got to get vaccinated. So it's an easy way to get people vaccinated. I heard, I don't know if it's true or not, I heard California alone, to get everybody vaccinated, if everybody wanted to get vaccinated, it will take us to 2030 to get everybody vaccinated. Just in California. Don't know if that number is true or not, but that's what they're saying. So what's an easy way to get your kids to get vaccinated? Oh, send them back to school. Hey, mommy and daddy, you sending your kid back to school? You got to get vaccinated too. So, you know, that's how you pump out, get everybody vaccinated. I don't see how going to school for one day, like if it'd be a little different if you're going back to school regularly, but just for one day, if you're going to let them go back for one day for socially and everything, well, just open everything back up and let the kids play at a park.
For real.
But no, you don't want them to play at a park. That's social. You know, let me go to Mayor Armstrong's house and play basketball in front of his house without you harassing me with no mask. No, you don't want to do that? Okay, cool. You want to control it in one day in school. with a big old glass in front. I seen what some of these schools have. They got big old plexiglass in front of them with a mask. Like, man, have my
So,
kids feel like they in jail.
so the whole thing Biden is doing is saying, "I'm not Trump." All the executive orders that he's passed are just to undo what Trump did. So basically, we're so mad at Trump that we don't realize that the Democrats are basically just undoing everything he did so that they can take control of the way things used to be. And if black people don't remember, before COVID, whether we like Donald Trump or not, it was the best that we've ever had as far as economically, as for black people in America. So, you know what I'm saying? So all that shit, all those tax breaks, all those programs are all being undid. And those are positive things for the black people, for the black community, whether we've seen it or not. So, you know, you traded one evil for the next evil. And I
The
don't know
Hunger
how long
Games.
it lasts, but I think that he's going to go eight years. So the Democrats have seized the government, and this is the foreseeable future. This is who we
Well,
rocking with right now.
Kalum, you heard about that whole that clause within President Trump's impeachment hearing or whatever? How he was talking about he wants NASA to release all the UFO information to Congress, so that way they're aware of what is going on up in, what's going on in space or whatnot. They say they won't allow us to know as far as general public, but by allowing Congress to know, that's going to force them to make better decisions on what's to come next. And I only thought it was ironic because, my community, like Yajika and I, being from the AV, we were the first ones to, to put in the reservation or whatever to be the home for United States Space Command. And when I heard about it, I was talking big shit to a lot of people. Like, it's not just about us, putting in that putting in that reservation. Are you aware that this is putting what Trump said when he first got into office into play? Like, he sarcastically said he's not worried about what's going on here. He's worried about space and the space command and blah, blah, blah. And, we laughed it off because it was like, man, he is really on one. But now, 4 years later, it's not being talked about, but he's forcing it to be talked about on his exit. You know what I mean? And then, like y'all said, even if it's not even 2030 that it takes for all of us to get vaccinated, how much of this is going to take up our time of progressing as a nation? You know what I mean? But it's a lot of money getting spent on all these vaccinations that all the people that's providing it is getting bread, but nobody that's losing their jobs and losing their opportunity to go to work, none of us are able to get back any of that money. So it's real life turning into the Hunger Games because, like, the parents who were on, and I'm just asking y'all, like, parents who were on EBT, right? And they're telling their kids, oh, you're going to have to do something different because you're not going to have that forever. What happens when their kid hits 18, 19, and they get pregnant? So they just telling their kid to go and turn around and apply for the same thing that's going to eventually dry out. You know what I mean? Like, there's no substantial foundation for none of these kids or none of these families where all this shit is about to have us really fighting over toilet paper for real. Not even just, oh, because of COVID, it's like, oh, you got a working bathroom and you don't have a porta potty in your house or outside your house, or you don't dig a hole and shit in a bucket and pour it in a hole. Because, I mean, it feels that way. Like, people aren't even worried about buying houses anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can find a good house that you can rent and the landlord isn't tripping, like, you feel more secure there than you would trying to keep a mortgage when the interest rates could inflate. But I'm just saying, I feel like this is something bigger. What do you feel, Kalum? Because you big on all this stuff, man.
I think that Joe Biden, he was just talking about the Space Force, calling it a joke. So that the Democrats are already in there trying to just throw dirt all over that. That was the first thing they was going to do, as we thought. So he was over there talking about the FBI, but the FBI was the same ones that was allowing the Russians to hack Hillary Clinton's server over 70 plus times. But then the FBI directors didn't catch that somehow. They let all those breaches happen. But then you get in there and now, Trump fired all those FBI. He fired the director, FBI Comey, and he fired all those people. And now Biden's over there talking shit about the FBI, talking about, there's a few good people in the FBI. Yeah, because all your boys, from the Hillary Clinton scandal then got fired up. So now you working with Trump people in the FBI and you don't like that. So, they already in there just trying to cover up whatever they could cover up, just like the pedophilia, just like they making like people don't know about Pizzagate, and I ain't gonna go into all these conspiracy theories. Just look up Pizzagate, man, and look at what the Democrats are. Like the GOP, man, it's like they're the same thing, man. They're the same thing, man. It's just like wool over our eyes.
Man, my whole thing is
I referenced the Hunger Games because it wasn't like President Snow was a good guy, but the other motherfuckers wasn't good neither. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what they wanted the same thing. They wanted to control the masses, and they wanted to control the masses through control of the livestock. They control the food. They control the people. And that's where we at. So when you talk about that whole EBT thing, man, it's like right up the alley, man. So if y'all seen, man, so the other day they voted that even though all the GOP was against it, which is the Republican Party, they were all saying that, hey, impeachment is to remove a president from office. And the president has already been removed by the people. So what is going forward with this trial? Like, it doesn't mean anything. And, of course, the Democrats are gung-ho about, especially Nancy Pelosi. She's really trying to get back at Trump. So they done pushed it through and made it constitutional. So now it's a second trial for a second impeachment of Trump. But when it comes down to votes, if they don't get like 3 Republicans to vote yes, and then it's going to get thrown out and he's going to get acquitted again for the second time. So,
and he'll run in 2024.
The likeliness is that Trump's going to get acquitted for a second impeachment, and he's probably still going to run again 4 years from now. So why are you doing this? Like, it's retarded. Like, I don't know, man. What do y'all think about this whole thing?
I don't think it's retarded. I think it goes back to what you said a little while ago, that Joe Biden is looking to run for the next 8 years. He's trying to get the Obama, right? And run for the 8 years. Who's your biggest opponent? Trump. So I thought, like I said, I've always stated on this podcast that your boy, me and history never really got along. But what I do know of history, I have heard of impeachment, and impeachment is for a current president. And they were trying to impeach a dude that was on his way out, and now he ain't even there, and you still trying to get him out of there because you don't want him to run again in 2024, because he's the biggest threat to you guys doing whatever you want to do for the next 8 years. So I just think that it's a waste of money, first and foremost, because it's coming out of our pockets for you to keep trying to impeach the dude. Then my thing will go, how many times could you try to impeach one person? If he gets acquitted again, right? If it doesn't go through again, and it goes through where he's cool, are you able to try to impeach him for a third time and a fourth time? Like, when is it going, okay, cool, leave the dude alone? Hey, we just got to make a game plan for 2024 and make sure that he don't win. Most likely, likely he will probably win again, because my thinking is Joe is going to mess up, and it's going to be a crap show, and then everybody that voted for Joe, because your boy I didn't vote for Joe. No Joe here. No Joe here. Right? So I'm going to wait when Joe mess up. Hope Joe don't mess up, because I want him to win because it affects my family. But if Joe messes up, first thing I want to see is, I want everybody that voted for Joe, I want at least one person to come out and be like, damn, man, I voted for the wrong person. Right? That's the first thing.
Well, I voted for Joe.
And
hold me to that. If Joe messes up, I'll come out and say, hey, man, we fucked that one up, man. Straight up. But I voted for Joe,
but
just because
I'm pulling for Joe to win. First thing Joe need to win is bring back my unemployment. I mean, I was supposed to get it for a year, only got it for 6 months. Joe come up in there and I don't got my unemployment no more. So bring that back, Joe. Stop trying to bring back the kids for one day. Bring back my unemployment for my weeks. That's what I need, Joe. That's what I need. But I just think that I just think that it's smoke screen. Why we care about a president that ain't even a president no more? Because you don't want him to run, and you don't want no competition going forward. But if you do your job, and you do your job correctly, ain't nobody gonna vote for Trump then. The people gonna vote for Trump, they're gonna vote for him, but then everybody else is gonna be like, nah, Joe did his thing. Joe brought back the economy. We ain't wearing the mask no more. We ain't worrying about no COVID. Hey, Joe and them, they did their thing. Cool. Everybody gonna vote for you, Joe. But if you don't do your job, are you afraid that you ain't doing your job right?
Look, I'll tell you what it really is. The reason why they're still pushing this whole second impeachment is because the things that Joe Biden is supposed to do, he's not going to be able to do just yet. And it's obvious that their backs are against the wall. They're scared, and they're about to use this negativity of attempting to impeach Trump, who's already not our president anymore or living in the White House. They're going to use that to stream another good, let's see, we're in February, probably at least another 4 to 5 months of just complete chaos, because you're going to have your Trump supporters who are now going to get upset that Trump is continuing to be attacked. Like, we're talking logically about it, because, we're three men, black men at that, knowing how it affects us. Well, we're not white men who have white privilege, who feel entitled and who feel enraged that this is happening to their favorite president of their current time. So they're going to be a lot more on an aggressive, back against the wall. You done fucked up now. We know we were being cool for a minute, trying to let you see what you're going to do. It's only been like a month. But now it actually hasn't even been a month, right? He got sworn in on the 20th. It's only the 10th. You know what I'm saying? Now they're going to be like, oh, so you want to talk that shit? You want to play that shit? And they're going to show up just like they did the Capitol building, and they're going to act an ass. They're going to act an ass. And what's sad is, because no black people are going to support this crazy action, you're going to have more chaos that none of us would ever be able to get away with happen on national television, where we're going to go, ain't that a bitch? Oh my God, do you see what they're doing now? So we not even gonna put him on timeout. We're not gonna punish him. We're not gonna slap him on the back of the wrist. We're just gonna let this type of shit happen a second time. So the Capitol building, now where we going? You know what I mean? Like that's the dialogue we're going to have way before the 100th day of his presidency, where he's gonna try to throw these kids back. We're going to see this as soon as they start publicizing and getting the footage of this whole impeachment, when Trump starts having to not tweet but physically speak on camera. Because remember, he's not able to tweet anymore because Twitter kicked him off. He's not on Facebook, he's not on Instagram, he's not on TikTok. There's people that I don't want to say I know, like, personally, but there's people that I know of, who I have friends with on Facebook, who are literally waiting to hear what he thinks is the next move for them to make. And to me, that's a scary ass position to be in when Democrats are thinking that this is some type of joke or this is some type of game where I'm trying to think about it like chess, not checkers. They know exactly what the hell they're doing. They're going to do this to keep us from moving forward with all these promises and whatnot. Because, truth be told, in the 4 years that Biden's in office, if they don't get Trump away from being able to run again in 2024, he would possibly be able to pick up where he left off faster than any of the shit that they promised us before they could implement it and we actually see benefits from it. You get what I'm saying? Like they say it takes 8 years for it to change, just like Obama, right? If Biden promises shit and they don't get it done in 4 years and then Trump runs again and he gets in, there's your martial law, there's your civil war or your World War III or whatever, because nobody's gonna want to hear nothing from nobody no more. Everybody, like literally whites, Asians, Mexicans, everybody's gonna be like, man, fuck the cops, and they're gonna be willing to shoot anybody in the face for their own.
I don't know. Me personally, I think that Trump has lost a lot of headway by not giving no pardons out to those people that rushed the Capitol building. If he would have gave some pardons out to those people
did he have power
for that,
but he didn't have power still, did he?
Yes, he did. He gave out 100 pardons, some unheard of shit on his way out, and he gave a pardon to Lil Wayne and Kodak Black.
Shut up.
Yes, Kodak Black is out of jail because of Donald Trump. Lil Wayne got caught with a gold. Lil Wayne got caught on a private jet with a gold-plated pistol with his name engraved in it, like he's a mob boss. And Trump got him, got his sentence removed. He pardoned 100
But that's for us black people, though, right?
But those are just also those are two of the people that we all said was cooning when he was running back, or when he was running in 2020. They jumped up to take their picture and say "Go Trump," but it paid out. So I mean, how can you be mad? You know what I mean? Like,
it's two less black people in jail.
That was the last thing that he did as he was exiting out. That shit was hilarious, man. Like that nigga's he's a fool, man. Like he got some big balls, man.
But I can't lie. He acts like a mob boss, though.
I can't lie, man. When I was watching one of them rallies, man. He was talking about he wanted to catch Joe Biden fade. That shit had me crying, man. He said something about Joe Biden, like, man, I don't even know if it'll be much of a fight. I just know if I touched him, he's down. That shit had me crying. Like, this nigga is a clown. Like it's about to be the presidential debate, and you talking about catching this nigga fade? Like that shit's stupid, man. Like,
hey, look,
Mike Tyson versus Roy George.
No, nowhere like that. No, look, here's a question, right? So you know how you think about LeBron James, right? I have a reason behind using him. LeBron James, by far, best basketball player in the NBA right now, right? Nobody can touch him, blah, 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 blah. Everybody talks about giving him his respect, but you notice other than this last championship when he said, you know, I want my coach to get his respect, my team to get his respect, and and he literally went like this, and I want my damn respect too, and almost like put his head down, like not to be too boastful, right? Not to be out there like, yeah, I know I'm the best in the world, right? Nobody does that. Like, if LeBron did that, would we still think he's the best, or would we call him, you know, cocky as hell, or who's he think he is? You know what I mean? Like Donald Trump in his mind is like, in some cases, he feels like he's like the most awesome white male in America, and for whatever reason, there's hundreds of thousands of people who believe that. So it's like, if you were told that you're the shit, how long before, you know, you hear all of that shit talk before you start acting on it? And it's ironic because we can't, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can boast each other up behind the scenes, but we know we have a certain image that we have to uphold. Otherwise, we're not going to go very far. But not just the privileged part, but he's on some like, oh, so you think I'm the shit? Let me show you why I am. And I don't dislike it. I just think it's funny as hell. Like, I would love for LeBron to do that. I would have loved for Kobe to do that. Jordan kind of did it, but I mean, like, I would love for there to be like some black dude come out of nowhere and be like, I'm the best to ever do it, and tell me something different. I mean, Kimball Slice was kind of like that. Not Tyson Fury, but Wilder was
Prime
like
time.
that. The best football player to ever play ever, Deion Sanders. Like that stuff was
Ali.
shunned. You know, hey, wait, no. You know, I'm glad you said that. Think about it. Deion Sanders was a offensive and defensive threat, and he did kickoff, and he did punt return, and he won on multiple teams. And yet his name is never brought up as the best player, the GOAT of football. Yet Tom Brady is only good at throwing passes, not even good at scrambling, and they're saying he's the best because he got the most rings. I know. That's what I'm saying. But how crazy is it? Like we're gonna start talking shit about you like that, Kalum. I'm just saying, like, you know what I'm saying? After Oprah Winfrey, it's the PolitiKan Broadcasting Company. Tell me something different. You know what I mean? And just to see if we get some crazy type of feedback, because that's white privilege at its best. I'm the best. Tell me something different.
I think that the best nowadays is so stupid that if you really want to get on, you got to be involved in like some type of scandal or some type of negative bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? You go get caught cheating with a bitch at the movies and get filmed, and you'll go viral. Everybody will listen to your content. You know what I'm saying? It's stupid. Like the girl that just gorilla glued her head together. She got 100,000 million followers now. They giving her GoFundMe's and shit like that. Like, it's ridiculous.
Well, think about that lawyer dude that didn't know how to turn off the cat filter.
I didn't see that one.
I seen that today. I was watching the news, and there's a lawyer that they did a virtual thing where the judge was supposed to make his ruling, and he pushed some button, and it put the cat filter up. So he talking to the judge. he talking to the judge like, "Hey, judge, it's really me. No, this is me. I just don't know how to turn off this cat filter." So when he's talking to the judge, just imagine me being a cat, and he's like, "No, judge, it's really me. I ain't playing no games. I'm having my assistant come in right now. I need to figure out how to turn off this cat filter. I don't know how to turn it off." And I guess the judge was the one that released the video, and it went viral.
Of course, the judge wanted to release the video. It's ridiculous.
But you know why though? Because World Star Hip Hop is the only thing competing with YouTube right now. So everybody knows you go on World Star, you find black injustice or social injustice, new videos that they don't post anymore, and all the crazy shit that you shouldn't do. Like right after old girl did the Gorilla Glue in her hair, some other girl tried to wax herself with Gorilla Glue tape. Yeah, that was on Instagram today too. And they showed the mom on some OG like, ooh, child, you turning purple. I could tell that's gonna hurt. Let me try to pour some water on it. I don't know what you won't do. But I mean, if you think about it, it's like kids who take pictures with their birthday money, knowing good and well they're gonna spend it all in one place. It's only $100 in ones. I want you to find me special because I don't think I am. You know what I mean? And it's like, we're gonna keep paying people out like this. You know what I mean? Like, why are we gonna literally put money in a GoFundMe for a person that put Gorilla Glue in their hair? You know what I'm saying? Like Gorilla Glue.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy though. Like, the people just spend money whatever way they want. It's retarded. But we gotta get up out of here, man. Let's get some shout outs before we get up out of here.
I'll go first. Shout out to Kalum. Shout out to Yajucated. Shout out to Brand Encouragement, PolitiKan Broadcasting. Shout out to my boy Damien and his Dominate Takes podcast. Shout out to the AV, since you guys are forgetting how important you are. Wake up. Do something better for yourself.
Shout out to the PolitiKan Podcast, broadcast, every cast. Shout out to Focus on the Future, my boy Mayor Armstrong. Shout out to Running Wild, Brand of Encouragement. My boy shouting it out. So, shout out to the AV. You know what I'm saying? Man, shout out to your wife. happy birthday to your wife tomorrow. You know, shout out to my wife, which birthday will be on Saturday. So early birthday shout out. And shout out to everybody that's getting it. Because I'm just going to say, I don't know what you're going to do. You thought I was going to do it, huh? Nah, I ain't going to take your stuff, bro.
I got a different one for you. I got a different one for y'all today.
Give it to me.
I got a different one for y'all today. So, it's four type of people in this world, man. It's ones that never learn. There's ones that learn but never apply. There's ones that practice but never preach. And then there's us, because we get into it, man. PolitiKan The Podcast. We out here.